Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Kim and welcome back to Uncommonkim. So it's been a little while since I've recorded anything because April has been shit. So hey ho. So I'm a bit late to this. Pretty much everyone and their nan's already done this, but I do take part, so I'm going to do it anyway, which is the R Fantasy Bingo board for 2025. I did it in 2024 and 2023. 2023 was a write-off. I'm just going to put that out there. 2024, I didn't do too bad. I didn't complete it. Here is my journal spread. As you can see, I literally had 3 books. 3 prompts not completed, but otherwise I did pretty good. Like, I'm quite happy with that. The 3 prompts I didn't complete was 5 short stories, space opera and bards. Just didn't get time to it, but that's fine. So we're now moving on to 2025, where I do plan to take part again. This is my journal spread for 2025, and here is the board. These are hard. Some of these are really hard. I have a few blank spaces, which if you have any recommendations, please leave down below. I'm not planning on hitting hard mode. I'm basically just doing the same as last year, which if I hit it, great, but it's not necessary because some of the hard modes are freaking hard. So yeah. So a few rules for our fantasy bingo. You can only use 1 book per prompt, as in, no, that doesn't make sense. You can only use the same book more than once. You can't use the same book more than once on the board. So 1 square equals 1 book, basically. You can't repeat an author. Only, I think it's to do with like the short stories you can, but otherwise you can't repeat an author. And only 1 of the squares can be a reread. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the rules for it. I have got it up in front of me. So there is hard mode, which is basically an extra prompt on top of the prompt. And then there is hero mode, where basically you need to review every book you read, which I basically do anyway, because if it's not on here, it's on Goodreads or on my Instagram. So I will at some point review it. So basically, let's get into the board. So I'm going to go through each prompt and what I'm planning on reading for this. This can change, but what I'm planning on reading for that prompt and whether I am hitting hard mode or not for the prompt, but I'll also just go over what the hard mode is. Cool, nice, let's go. Okay, so prompt number 1 is Knights and Paladins, and for this it is one of the protagonists is a paladin or a knight, and the hard mode is the character has an oath or promise to keep, and for this I've gone for Knights and the Moth by Rachel Gillig, which is her newest release in 2025. I know nothing about this other than people have told me has knights in it, so I can count it for this prompt. I have every reason that I'm going to read it, but I don't really know much about it, but I'm going to go for that one for this prompt. Prompt number 2 is a hidden gem. So this is a book with under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads. New release and arcs from most popular authors do not count. And hard mode is published more than 5 years ago. I haven't put anything for this prompt. I want recommendations because there's lots of books under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, but I don't want to pick something going, yeah, this is going to be good, and then it ends up not being what I wanted it to be. So I would like some recommendations for this one, as well as the next prompt, which is published in the 80s. So they did publish in the 90s for last year's board, and I just about completed that, but I don't want to read anything from the 80s, so this may be a square that I bin off, because you can bin off 1 square. So it has to be published between 1980 and 1989, and the hard mode is written by an author of colour, which is extremely difficult, so I don't think I'm gonna get a hard mode for this one, but I just need recommendations. If you guys have any, that would be great. Then the next one is high fashion. So it's read a book where clothing and fashion or fibre arts are important to the plot. This can be a crafty main character or a setting where fashion itself is explored. And the hard mode is the main character makes cloths or fibre. So I have gone for Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherworlds, which is book 2 in the Emily Wilde kind of world. I read book 1 and didn't love it, but for the cozy vibes it was good enough. So this is book 2 and I'm very excited to read this one, and going off of the Our Fantasy Storygraph pages, and like you get so many good book recs from that, this book came up and I thought great. So I think again we're following Emily Wilde in this one, as she continues to catalogue a lot of the hidden folk, and I'm then assuming we must meet some magical folk who maybe create clothes or fashion in some sort of way. So I've gone for this one for that prompt. The next prompt is Down with the System. So read a book in which the main plot revolves around disrupting a system, and hard mode is not a governmental system, which is really hard because most of them are governmental systems. So I don't think I'll get hard mode for this, but I have gone for Nevernight by J. Kristoff. This is something that I am very, very intrigued in reading. I do enjoy J. Kristoff's writing, but I do believe she is trying to take down someone. And I believe it is like a governmental system, so I've been told. So I'm very excited to read this one, so I'm going to go for this one for this prompt. One thing I actually forgot to mention is it doesn't have to be all fantasy books. You can do some horror books, which I forgot to mention. So for the next prompt, which is in the second row, is Impossible Places, which is read a book set in a location that would break a psychiatrist? I think that's right. So it says that would break the geometry, non-Euclidean, the volume, bigger on the inside, the directions, merely a suggestion. Hard mode is at least 50% of the book takes place within the impossible place. So I've gone for We Used to Live Here by Marcus Callaware, and I've heard a lot of great things about this book, and I'm very excited to read it. May read it kind of coming up into like Halloween season or maybe spooky season towards the end of the year, but I am excited to read it and I have just heard really, really good things. So I believe we follow a young couple who can't believe they've gotten this great deal on this house, and they move into this house, and then one day this man knocks on their door and says, "Oh, I used to live here, do you mind if I come in and show my family where I used to live?" And of course they say yes, and then weird things start happening inside this house while this family is here, and it is also really hard to get rid of them, and that's all I really know. Kind of all I really want to know, but I'm very excited to read this one. I think it will be a fun time. Next we have a book in parts. So read a book that has is separated into large sections within the main text. This can include things like acts, parts, days, years, and so on, but it has to be more than just chapter breaks. And the hard mode is that it has 4 or more parts. Now I don't know if it was going to hit hard mode. I think it will because book 1 did, but I'm not too sure. And I have gone for Jade War by Fonda Lee. I read Jade City back in the beginning of March. I loved it. So I'm very, very excited because I've heard the series just gets better as you go on. And based off of the first book, lots of shit's gonna come down on this, and the first book was like cut up into parts. I think it was 3 parts, so I'm thinking because this book is bigger it might be cut up into more than that, but I don't really know. So yeah, the next prompt is Gods and Pantheons, which is read a book featuring the divine beings. Hard mode is there are multiple pantheons involved. So I don't know if this is going to hit hard mode again, but just as a general prompt, I have gone for The Gods Below by Andrea Stewart. This is her newest release. This is the lovely Fairylute edition. which I got last year in September. It was a lovely surprise because at the time I was reading Bone Shard Daughter, so I'm excited. I don't really know anything about this, so let's read the little card because at least it'll be shorter. In a world where precious gemstones bestow magical abilities on the few who can harness their power, our main character must lead a rebellion against the gods themselves in order to find her missing sister. I'm very excited to read this one. I do think it is going to be a good time and a good vibe, and rebellion against the gods, who doesn't love it? I know I do, especially if you like John Gwynne. Next we have last in the series, so read a final entry in a series. Hard mode is the series is 4 or more books long. This is a trilogy, and it is Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. This has been on my TBR for too long now. The size just puts me off, but I know as soon as I start reading it, it will fly by because I love this series so much. So this is book 3 in the Diverbad trilogy, book 1 being City of Brass, and I love it. It's like Aladdin vibes, but more magical, more high stakes, bit political, which I enjoy, but I just love it, and I really want to read this and just get this trilogy done. But I like to make things harder for myself, so I haven't done that, but I hope I will get to it this year. Everyone pray for me. Next we have book club or read along book. So you need to read a book that was or is officially a group read on the Our Fantasy Reddit page. Now I don't take part in their book clubs, I do enough of my own, so I won't read one of theirs, but I read this a couple of times and I've taken it as read a book that was. So I went back through all of their book club picks and I've gone for The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb because they have read this previously and it is on my TBR, and it does drive me a little bit mad that I still haven't read this. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for The Assassin's Apprentice. This is very much a loved series by so many people and I've tried to read it multiple times and I can't get into it, so I'm gonna give it one last shot, and if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, but I'm going to try. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. Okay, on to row 3. So we have parent protagonist. So read a book where the main character has a child to take care of. The child does not have to be biologically related to the character. Hard mode is the child is also a major character in the story. So for this I have gone for Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne, because one of our main characters is a mum, and I don't know if the child is going to be a main protagonist in this story, so I can't say whether it's going to be hard mode or not, but I'm very excited. I loved Shadow of the Gods. When I read it last year, it was amazing, and I'm very excited to continue with the trilogy and just get it done. Get it done. I've heard this is a lot of people's favourite books in the trilogy, so I am excited, but as always, John never does it small, so it will be fine. I am excited, but yeah, thanks John. This is a Norse-inspired epic fantasy, by the way, with dual perspectives, based on different parts of the same kind of war that is going on, with magical creatures and amazing characters. And if you love a character-driven story, check out any of John's books because you just should. Next is Epistolary, maybe, which is a book. The book must feature any of the following: diary or journal entries, letters, messages, newspaper clippings, transcriptions. Hard mode is the book is told entirely in that format. I don't think this book does, so it won't get hard mode. But funny enough, I was recommended this by John Gwynne himself and Mark Lawrence when I went and I met them in, what month was it? September? October? Can't tell you. I went to meet them and they recommended this during the chatty bit, which is The Daughter's War by Christopher Blumen. I believe this is like a prequel is what I wanted to say, prequel to the first book in this series, and everyone seems to be really enjoying it, so it is definitely something I want to read. Don't really know what this is about. Something to do with goblins, I believe. And oh, here we go. A fraught, shattering fantasy adventure, this standalone novel is set during the war-torn, goblin-infested years just before The Black-Tongued Thief. The Black-Tongued Thief is the book that comes after this. We understand? We understand? I am glad we understand. But I have been told that it has got like diary entries and things like that in it, so that's why I can count it for this prompt. Yay! The next prompt is published in 2025, so a book published for the first time in 2025, no reprints or new editions. A hard mode is also a debut novel, and it is the author's first published novel. So this isn't hard mode. Whether I might change this this book, I don't know, but for the time being I have gone for Mate by Ali Hazelwood because I'm really excited for it. Really excited for it. I enjoyed Bride quite a lot, and I'm very excited to go back to this world and back to these characters, and I'm excited. Nothing else needs to be said. I'm just excited. And then next we have author of colour, so read a book written by a person of colour. The hard mode is read a horror novel by the author of colour. Not doing that. I'm just going to do the standard prompt, and I've gone for Iron Widow by Exran J. Zahau. I'm sorry if I butchered that. But this was recommended to me from a girl in Mr. B's Emporium in Bath, the lady that worked there. I was looking at it and she went, read it, and I went, okay. Didn't take much else, but then when she explained the plot to me I was like, this actually sounds amazing and right up my street, so I'm very excited to read this. It has been out for quite a while, but it is very loved, very hyped, so I am very, very, very excited to read this one. I believe it's got like Pocahontas vibes. Is that the right word? Pocahontas isn't what I'm on about, is it? No, Mulan vibes. Sorry lads, Mulan vibes. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Next prompt is small press or self-published. So a book published by a small press, not one of the big 5 publishing houses or Bloomsbury, or self-published. And the hard mode is the book has under 100 ratings on Goodreads, or written by a marginalised author. I haven't put a book down for this. I want recommendations because I do want to read more small press and self-published, but I don't really know where to start. So any recommendations for that would be great because I just don't really know where to start with it, to be honest. Then onto the 4th row. So the first prompt on the 4th row is biopunk, and for this we need to read a book that focuses on biotechnology and its consequences, and a hard mode is that there is no electricity based technology. I've gone for A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. Based off of the story graph, I can use this, so I loved The Tainted Cup. I thought it was amazing. It was 5 stars and probably my favourite book of this year so far. And this is the sequel to that, and I'm excited. I'm very excited. The first book had like murder mystery fantastical elements, and it was great. And I'm hoping this is gonna have something similar. Yeah, so the first line that I can see is, an impossible crime has occurred. Don't need to know anymore. Yeah. I am excited. I'm excited. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, and then the next prompt is elves and or dwarfs. So read a book that features the classical fantastic fantasy of elves or dwarves. They do not have to fit the classic tropes, but they must be either named as elves or dwarves or be easily identified as such. Hard mode is the main character is an elf or a dwarf. I've gone for Brigands and Bread Knives, which is by the same author who wrote Legends and Lattes and Bookshops and Bone Dust, Travis Baldry. There we go, it's come to me. And he has a new book coming out this year and I'm super excited. And I've been told this will have elves or dwarfs in them, and they're called elves or dwarfs, which I expected based off of the first 2 books. So I'm excited. I'm really excited to read more from this author, and I believe it's still set in the same world, so that's even better if you ask me. I'm excited. Next prompt is LGBTQIA protagonist. So read a book where the main character is under the LGBTQIA plus umbrella. Hard mode is the character is on at least one of the additional axes, such as being a person of colour, disabled, a member of the ethnic or religious cultural minority in the story. So I have gone for Cursebound by Sora El-Sarafi. This is the second book, Feybound being the first one. I loved Feybound, it was really good. This is the next book in that series. And our main character is a part of the LGBTQ plus community. And I'm sure that they are a person of colour, but I don't want to say that and be wrong. So I'm not going to like count it because I don't want to get that wrong. Because looking at the character art, it's hard to know for sure. So I'm not going to say 110% yes, I'm just going to say maybe. But I'm very excited to read this one. I loved Feybound. Feybound was so good. And I'm super excited to read Cursebound. And it's quite short. Shorter than I thought it was going to be. So hopefully I'll get to it quite soon. But we'll see. Because I like to procrastinate. Next we have 5 short stories. So any short stories, as long as there are 5 of them. And then hard mode is read an entire anthology or collection. So I have 2 options. I have Tales of the Greatcoats, which I need to read after I've read Tyrant's Throne by Sebastian de Castell, which is a short story collection around the Greatcoats. Or Claire gave me this idea, but I can't remember what it's called. But there's like a book by Grady Hendrix, and there's a book by like a variety of, I'll put something here that shows you what I'm on about, and there's like a variety of authors, and it's like a short story collection, and I will read this if not the Greatcoats one. It depends. I can only read the Greatcoats one if I read Tyrant's Throne, where it's probably more likely I'll read these short stories. So yeah, that's my plan. But I can't remember what it's called, but thanks Claire for the recommendation. And the next prompt is A Stranger in a Strange Land. So a book that deals with being a foreigner in a new culture. The character or characters, if there is a group, must be either visiting or moving as a minority. And then the hard mode is the main character is an immigrant or a refuge. So I've been told this works. So this is A Natural History of Dragons, which is a part of the Lady Trent series by Marie Brennan, and I've heard it's like cozy, cute kind of fantasy vibes about a stranger moving to a strange land of dragons. So yeah, that's all I need to know. Sounds good to me. But I bought this because it looked cool and I've heard a lot about it, so I thought I would enjoy it, but I don't know, Jeff. On to the final row. So we have the first prompt on the bottom row is recycle a bingo square. So use a square from a previous year, 2015 to 2024, as long as it does not repeat on one of the current cards. And the hard mode is not very clever of us, but do the hard mode for the original square. Now I have a problem, which is I can't remember what square I chose, but I have the book that I chose for that prompt, but I don't remember what the prompt was. So I've not really helped myself here, but whatever it was, I went for Phantasma by Kaylee Smith because I wanted to read it, and I'm sure it had a reason that I chose it for that prompt, but I could not tell you what that is. So yeah, soz. Next we have cozy. So cozy is up to your preference for what you're finding comforting, but the genre typically features relatable characters, low stakes, minimal conflict, and a happy ending. And hard mode is the author is new to you, so I would hit that because I have chosen The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a cute cozy fantasy about a witch who I believe moves to a faraway island where she used to live and becomes like starts to like care for people and look after people, but also finds unexpected love in this place. I've not read from Sarah Beth Durst before, so this will count for hard mode, which is exciting. And then next we have generic title. So read a book that has one of more of the following words in the title. So blood, bone, broken, court, dark, shadow, song, sword, and throne. And the hard mode is the title contains more than one word listed. Mine doesn't. I've just gone for one, and I've gone for Wolf Song by TJ Klune, which I'm very excited for. So this is an LGBTQ+ rep book. Pretty much all of TJ Klune's are, where we follow a main character who is living his life, as you say, and this family moves into his town, and turns out they are shapeshifters, and they kind of take him in, and it's really cute and cozy, and I can tell you that because I have started it. And I'm currently reading it at the moment, and I'm very excited to read this, but obviously yeah, the song in the title counts for this prompt. And then the next prompt is not a book. Don't really get the point in this prompt, but hey ho. So do something besides reading a book. Watch a TV show, play a game, learn how to summon a demon. Maybe not that last one. Spend time with fantasy, science fiction, or horror in another format. Movies, video games, board games, all of it counts. There is no clue to how many episodes of a show will count, or whether or not you have to finish a video game. New is the key word here. We do not want you to play a new save on a game you have played before, or watch a new episode of the show you enjoy. You can do a whole new series or a new campaign in the system you have played before, but not a new session in the game you have been playing before. Hard mode, write and post about it. I don't really know what I'm doing for this. I'm assuming I'll watch something in the next year. I mean, I watched a Minecraft movie the other day. It wasn't good, if that counts. But yeah, I suppose I'll just figure it out over the next year. I'm assuming I'll watch something. I mean, I'm going on a 9-hour flight in like a week and a bit, so maybe I'll just watch something on the flight. Who knows? And then the final prompt, the R Fantasy Bingo Board 2025 is pirates. So read a book where characters engage in piracy. Hard mode is not a seafaring pirate. I don't know much about pirates, or if this is a seafaring pirate. I'm assuming it is because there is a boat on water on the title. So I've gone for Untethered Sky. Oh no, I can't go for Untethered Sky because it's by Fonda Lee. Well, this is mixed me up. Give me Pirate Rex. Give me Pirate Rex, because I've just realised I can't use that because I can't repeat an author. Bollocks. So give me Rex. Give me some recommendations for pirates, because apparently I can't do my job properly. It is what it is. It's fine. But yeah. That is my R Fantasy TBR for 2025's board. Let me know if you've got any recommendations you think I would enjoy that I haven't filled out on this board, or if I have and you think you can think of a better prompt for me, go for it. And let me know down below if you're taking part. If you're not taking part, come and join me. And like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all soon for another video. Bye.